SummerSlam 2023 was officially a whole year away now, and you know, a lot of people like to look back on this show and say that it was not that good, say that it was, pretty mid, but I went back this weekend and I rewatched SummerSlam 2023 and I'm going to review it with you guys a year later. Here we go. Starting off this show, we had Ricochet versus Logan Paul. Now, I know, what? Ricochet? What? Logan Paul? Why were they feuding? And, it was an interesting feud. It started off at the Rumble 2023 when they had that amazing spot. And then, they were feuding a little bit before Money in the Bank. And they had that incredible spot, couple of spots during Money in the Bank last year. And it ended up sparking a feud between the two. And they went into SummerSlam. And this was the first time Ricochet had been on the SummerSlam card since 2019. And he was going up against arguably one of the bigger talents in Logan Paul. And he ended up losing to Logan Paul, and honestly, it was an incredible match, probably match of the night for sure. But this did nothing for Ricochet. Thinking about it a year later, Ricochet's not even in the company anymore, which is, it's obviously sad to say. The match was amazing, but nobody necessarily wasn't behind his character work. So this was his chance, and he kind of flopped with it. Logan Paul, on the other hand, I mean, he ended up, challenging against Rey Mysterio for the United States title at Crown Jewel later on that year, winning the United States title. Now he's currently the United States champion going into SummerSlam facing LA Knight, and we don't know what's going to happen there, but we'll talk about LA Knight a little bit later. The next match on the card was Cody Rhodes versus Brock Lesnar match, and honestly, I'm surprised that this match happened this early in the card. It was only the second match on the card, which honestly, I would have rather had this open over Logan Paul and Ricochet. I understand why it didn't. Logan Paul had to get to Dallas for a Jake Paul fight that was going on the exact same night, so he flew literally as soon as he got in with his match. He got on the flight and flew to Dallas, so that's the reason why. But Cody versus Brock, in my opinion, should have opened the show. It was a good match. Brock Lesnar is destroying Cody on the outside of the ring. He's like, don't get in, don't get in. Ends up, ripping his shorts, which was pretty funny, I'm not gonna lie. He had his shorts were ripped, and you could see his whole underwear. It was crazy. Cody ended up using the power of the American Nightmare to get back in that ring, hit a triple crossroads on Brock, which unironically was one of the worst couple of crossroads I'd ever seen. Oh my god, they were super, super bad. And then, pins Brock in the middle of the ring, and then Brock does his little handshake after, he gives him his respect. Oh, you beat me twice. It didn't make any sense in general. The whole feud didn't really make much sense, but it was paid off. And yeah, so Cody defeated Brock at SummerSlam. It was interesting. Next match we had on the card was the SummerSlam Slim Jim Battle Royal. Now, the winner of this was LA Knight. And this was a year ago. LA Knight was the most over wrestler in the entire company. Dude, going back and watching this, it's insane to hear. Yes, LA Knight still gets these big pops, but it is insane to hear how over he was in front of this crowd. Seeing Omos again, it was kind of sad because I don't know exactly what's going on with Omos's contract, but I don't think he's re-signing with the company, which is sad. AJ Styles was in this match, and he looked fantastic. Cool to see, it was cool to go back and watch this and see, the feuds from a year ago and, what was sparking around this time and who was feuding with each other. I mean, Karrion Kross was feuding with AJ Styles. What? I don't remember that at all. But, after all those thoughts, after watching this, again, LA Knight is going into a major one-on-one match against Logan Paul for the United States title on Saturday at SummerSlam. And if there's any time, if you do not give LA Knight the United States Championship here, you are wasting his career. Because this is the most over, he was the most over wrestler in the company a year ago, right? Now you're a year later, and this is his first time that he actually has a real chance at winning a championship. Now, I know he had 2 title shots against Roman, but there was nobody ever was like, oh yeah, LA Knight's going to win. If he does not win here, there is no way he will be put into a position where he can be a main eventer one day if he does not win the United States title here at SummerSlam. LA Knight has to win. And this SummerSlam, this Slim Jim Battle Royal a year ago proves that he was so over a year ago. This is a year later. Give him a title, please, please. The next match on the card was Shayna versus Ronda Rousey in a MMA rules fight. This was a bathroom break. And I'm just kidding. It wasn't a bathroom break. I did watch it. And there was 2 times that I was like, and it was when I believe it was Ronda hit like this jumping knee into Shayna's face, and I was like, whoa, okay. And I think that might actually been it. This match was so bad. It was so bad. There was one time I was like, whoa, and that was literally it. This match was horrible. And the fact that Rhea Ripley was not on this card, and Becky versus Trish Stratus was not on this card. Come on. The next match we had was between Gunther and Drew McIntyre for the Intercontinental Championship. And let me just say, people said that this match was not that good. Now, I remember watching it a year ago and being like, oh, wow, it was good. You know, Gunther versus Drew McIntyre. It was a good match. But I remember being short. Watching it a year later, it was incredible. This match is really good. I don't know why people were saying that it's not good. This match is good. And the only thing that I will say was it was a little short. Once it starts getting picked up, it's kind of like, oh, Gunther hits like 4 finishers in a row on Drew, and it's over. You know, and it's like, okay, well, Drew's all of a sudden pinned. But yeah, no, it was still a good match. I was entertained. It was big men slapping meat. There was a lot of good chops. There was nothing necessarily missing from it. I feel like it could have just used probably 10 more minutes, honestly. Seth Rollins versus Finn Balor for the World Heavyweight Championship. Oh my God. Finn Balor should have won this match. I know. Oh my gosh. In hindsight, it's like, oh, well, Seth went on to WrestleMania and have a banger with Drew McIntyre, and then Damian Priest cashes in, and then, bro, we could have done that still, and just still had given Finn a championship run. This is SummerSlam. You still have 8 months to lead up to a WrestleMania like a Seth versus Drew. Championships can be dropped and then won back. That's how the WWE used to work. And now we're getting these long ass title reigns, but for a wrestler, and like, dude, everybody wanted Finn to win this match. Everyone wanted it. It had been 7 years. It was a rematch from 7 years ago where Finn was screwed over. He was so over at this time. And now a year later, he is tag teaming with JD McDonough. Finn should have won this. We would have been able to get that, finally getting that Finn world title run that everybody wanted. And Seth could have just won it back at Fastlane, Survivor Series, something like that. And then we still could have got the amazing, WrestleMania build-up. But no, you keep the title on Seth to have a lackluster, honestly, feud between him and Shinsuke Nakamura. I think it would have been better to have Seth win it back at a Survivor Series or a Crown Jewel compared to Finn losing back-to-back matches to Seth Rollins. The next match on the card was the triple threat WWE Women's Championship match between Bianca Belair, Charlotte, and Asuka. This match, arguably match of the night. This match was fantastic, dude. Oh my gosh, this is why I wish we would have had a Rhea Ripley match on the card, just to see like a better women's match than Shayna versus Ronda, because this was the only good women's match on the card, and we probably should have had more, because this match was incredible. Charlotte, I'm excited to see her come back from her injury. It's sad to think that she was injured back in November, and I'm excited to see her, return and, have an amazing, feud or whatever with whoever she comes back and faces. Charlotte looked great in this match, and Bianca Belair, dude, star of the show. Star of the show for real. There was never been a time in my life that I thought somebody was more injured than what she was when she fell out of that ring and hit her knee on that on the stairs. And then she walks out and the medical team comes out there. She like sells that like crazy. It was crazy acting by her. And then she comes in, hits a 450 off the top rope with an injured knee. And then, eventually pins, I believe it was Asuka. I don't remember exactly who she pinned. I can't remember. It was like 2 days ago that I watched this. And then, obviously, the best women's champion in modern WWE history. A little biased there, I can't lie. But Io Sky eventually, uses her Money in the Bank briefcase and, cashes in on Bianca, hits the over-the-moon moonsault. The Genius of the Sky herself becomes the WWE Women's Champion. And one of the most coldest and amazing cash-ins. Come on, bro. And then the damage control celebration at the end of the match, dude, it was emotional. And it made me so happy. And it just made me think, man, do I miss Io as my WWE Women's Champion. What an amazing run from her, by the way. You know, all the way to WrestleMania into an amazing match against Bayley. What an incredible wrestler. And, you know, what an amazing launching point here at SummerSlam for her to win that. Let's talk about the main event. Roman Reigns, the Tribal Chief, versus Jey Uso in a tribal combat match. Okay. Okay, first of all, this is the best version of Jey Uso ever. Straight up, no doubt in my mind, best version of Jey Uso. He was so over at this time. This was before the yeets. This was before the black and blue. This was before, you know, spamming super kicks all the time. I mean, yes, he did use super kicks, but, like, this match was, Jey Uso looked incredible in this match. I wish that he would have stayed with this version of Jey as his solos run. As a solo run compared to the yeet man, the yeet, and this is coming from one of the bigger Jey Uso fans in the IWC. You know, he looked incredible. Roman, obviously, this is the Tribal Chief. This is the head of the table. Of course, he's gonna look fantastic. This is Roman freaking Reigns, baby. This match, along with, you know, Roman versus Cody, arguably one of the only matches that I thought Roman might actually lose in, and that's because there was so much history between him and Jey. There was this felt like it could be an amazing accumulation of all of the Bloodline storyline with the Bloodline Civil War, you know, a callback to the beginning of the Tribal Chief character whenever he was facing off against Jey in the Hell in the Cell matches and everything. And if there was any match besides Cody versus Roman that Roman would have dropped the title to, it would have been this one. And I thought maybe Jey would win. I did. And, you know, he was about to. This match was long. It was really long. I mean, the entrances alone was longer than Shayna versus Ronda entirely, which, I mean, I'm not complaining about. Spears Roman. Uso splash. 1, 2, and he gets pulled out. And it's like, what the heck? Who just pulled out Jey? Lifts off his head. You guys know this has been a year. Jimmy Uso turns on his brother. In the main event of SummerSlam, after he just helped him defeat Roman at Money in the Bank in Bloodline Civil War. I am a firm believer that this is one of the worst WWE booking decisions in recent memory. This is still horrible. The fact that Jimmy would turn on his brother and be like, but then try to retcon it with, I don't want you to turn into the Tribal Chief, but then still be in the Bloodline. After that, if you do not want him to be the Tribal Chief, then why would you join the Bloodline after you literally were talking shit on Roman? You are the one that super kicked Roman at Clash of Champions. You are the one. But it's okay, because overall, I mean, in hindsight, you can look back at it. Oh yeah, well, Jey probably would have went crazy like Solo does now that he is the Tribal Chief, and, you know, blah blah blah. Overall, the booking decision still doesn't make sense, and I still am upset about it a year later. But it's okay, because, you know, it's a year later, and Jey Uso's not even on the SummerSlam card right after main eventing the show a year ago. But you know what? It's okay. Overall, SummerSlam 2023, a year later, it's okay. When it comes to the shows, it was probably one of the weaker ones of 2023. 2023 had a lot of banger PLEs, and this is one of the weaker ones, and, you know, it being the second biggest show of the year, you know, you'd think it'd be better, but it was okay. So, 6 out of 10.